We'll now learn from a cube titled From Mechanical to Digital, Monetization of Mobility in the Data Economy. This team involves a faculty member from engineering, a faculty member and fellow from the Transportation Research Institute, and a faculty member and graduate student from business. Please welcome Professors Robert Hampshire and Peter Adrians and graduate student Ryan Moya.
About 100 years ago, the US automotive industry was at a pivotal moment. We had figured out how to scale productivity. There was massive demand in the market because the price point and the value proposition was right. The bottleneck was oil and making sure that we had the gasoline to power these mechanical devices. And thanks to wildcatters who were drilling for oil in places not previously known to contain oil, we were able to sustain this revolution. We fast forward to today, we're dealing with a new type of wildcatter. They're the mobility tech wildcatters. They're drilling digital wells to monetize a new commodity, data. Except for this time around, the commodity is now below ground. It's me, it's all of you. So in about a century, we've moved from monetizing oil to scale automobile transportation to monetizing human behavior using the car to port your data. So how did we set out to understand this transitioning in this mobility economy?
Well, to find out, we actually put together a team that has expertise in financial models. That's Peter Adrians. Team member Sichan Chen, who's interested in optimization, and myself, interested in systems operations. This team actually came together with the help of a joint colleague named Sue Zielinski. Peter and Sue had worked together in analyzing this new mobility ecosystem, the financial models related to it, as well as some of the technologies that enable it. Myself and Sue actually were colleagues at the Transportation Research Institute. We were interested together in the sharing economy. And myself and Sichan actually have similar methodological trainings in optimization and stochastics and systems modeling. And for this, we actually leveraged other partnerships that we already had with people like Tayo, Dimitri, Rupert, Kamal, and also Ryan. Ryan was a master's student working with Peter and actually took a finance course with him, and he actually helps complete this team. So our first step was actually to follow the breadcrumbs. What we did was map the financial transactions and data flows between companies in this mobility ecosystem. We wanted to understand what are these companies and how do they actually work together. So as you see here to the left, you'll see the traditional automakers. And as you move to the right, you see connections with communication services, data providers, and ultimately, all the way to the right, you see service in companies like hotels and Starbucks and so forth. So one of the key contributions of this project has been to map this ecosystem from mechanical to digital and understanding these connections. But this is all at the industry level. So what does this actually have to do with you?
So we didn't want to stop our research at just illustrating the magnitude that data was transforming historical value chains across the industry. We also wanted to identify exactly how data was being monetized among successful companies to gain a competitive advantage over their peers. So to do this, you know the user privacy clauses that all of us agree to but never quite read? I was given the specific task of analyzing these privacy clauses amongst successful companies and using their business models to map some common patterns among the nebula of financial transactions and partnerships that they established. A few common business models emerged from this work, where aggregated user data was being monetized in two common ways. So we dubbed these a data commodity swap loop and a value net creation loop. Let's examine one and put you in the driver's seat of a real world example that most of us in the audience have already experienced but didn't quite know what was occurring in the background. So imagine yourself, bags packed and ready for a weeks-long trip to Seattle to see some friends or attend a work conference. You decide to use Uber to hail a ride to the airport, as well as the Marriott hotel that you'll be staying in Seattle. The fact that Uber was a free download on any phone device and provides convenience on-demand services made agreeing to the terms in their privacy clause a no-brainer. But when you did this, you handed over the ability to track your location information, route preferences, as well as ads that you clicked on while using the app. The terms in Uber's privacy clause open the door to numerous third parties interested in your transient habits that they never previously had access to. Uber can leverage its relationship with data brokers and advertising agents to sell information to Starwood Hotels or United Airlines, who might be interested to see how often you fly to Seattle and use their respective services. City planners in Seattle might be interested and were willing to pay 80 cents for each one of Uber's tracked users just to see how your visit impacts overall traffic patterns. And because your location can be used to suggest nearby shops and attractions within your vicinity, Starbucks might be interested in your trip as well. So, as you can see, data has transformed a historical industry, but it's also made prior competitors willing to share information and collaborate in ways that they never did previously based on a common interest. But it's also made you the central product in this process. So is that scary or exciting? What are the implications of this?
So where does this all end? I mean, we're all consumers in this space. We all consume all our different apps and all these different services. So we're essentially contributors in the process in a new data market, new data marketplace. So will we remain a commoditized data well back to the wildcatters in this digital mobility economy, or will we evolve to become prosumers in this emerging data market? And a prosumer is not just a consumer of the different services, but also a producer of the data in this marketplace. Well, if you get any indication out of what's happening in other industries, such as the energy industry, and with technology innovations, financial technology innovations such as blockchain and digital ledgers, it won't be very long before you'll be able to clip your virtual coupon and turn your phone into a digital ATM. Thank you.